have been fortunate and unfortunate in America. The violence that we have seen on college campuses, and we've seen a lot, but it has not had a religious element to it up to this time. So it's not like the Al-Qaeda attacks that we'll talk about a little bit in a minute. The first major act of violence on a U.S. campus was in 1966 at the University of Texas at Austin. The lone wolf, the lone gunman, climbed the clock tower with a sniper rifle and for hours just shot students, passers-by, faculty, whomever, until the police finally made their way upstairs and were able to shoot him. But he had murdered his mother earlier in the day. He just, we would say he was crazy. That was the first case. 1976, California State, 7 killed, 1 wounded. The big one recently, Virginia Tech in 2007, a young man breaking up with a girlfriend, history of emotional problems, goes through the hallways with pistols, just shooting folks, cornering them in classrooms and shooting as many people as he can. Northern Illinois at DeKalb, 6 killed, 21 wounded. Almost always, by the way, in America, almost always the lone wolf is with a pistol or assault rifle. And then most recently in Oakland, California, this was just a few weeks ago, 7 killed, 6 wounded, because he felt like administration didn't hear him, and he had a complaint, and he had some financial aid issues. So we've had, unfortunately, a history of this.
Crazy America.
Yeah. Quote, religious violence is accompanied by strong claims of moral justification, and I think that's what we've talked about a bit in here, and an enduring absolutism that transforms worldly struggles into sacred battles. If I, as a fundamentalist of X religion, whatever it is, believe that it is my God-given duty to kill a certain type of person, and that if not, I'm failing God, then it justifies violence in the name of God. And we've seen this across religions. Not just with Al-Qaeda hitting the World Trade Center, but we could go back in history. I'm also followers with a group of Anglican Dominican priests. The Dominicans are the one who led the Inquisition, for goodness sake. So yeah, this goes back a while. Religious terrorism just in America in 1993, the first Al-Qaeda attack on the World Trade Center. They attempted to knock it down then. The bomb exploded, killed some people, but it didn't have the catastrophic effects that they had hoped for. Of course, when you say it didn't have catastrophic, 1,000 people were injured, 6 were killed outright. Then Timothy McVeigh, lone wolf, Christian identity movement, also a Roman Catholic, which usually that doesn't go with Christian identity. So he was, again, a bit of a hybrid. Blew up the Oklahoma City Federal Building where the FBI was housed, there in for Oklahoma. Did it with a fertilizer bomb in the back of the truck. Cost less than $1,000 to buy the supplies to do it, and killed 168 people, injured 800, and shot us all. And he got caught 2 hours later, almost like this other gentleman that just happened in Oregon. It's almost like he wanted to get caught. And he's been executed subsequently. Summer Olympics in Atlanta, Eric Rudolph, he bombed the Centennial Olympic Park, but he was an anti-abortionist. Abortion is a very hot topic among religious groups in America, mine included, and there are those who feel, again, necessity defense, going back to the earlier slide about religious justification. I'm not murdering a doctor, I'm saving a baby. The doctor's on his way to kill a baby. If I kill the doctor, I'm saving the baby, and God will be pleased. And Eric Rudolph and quite a few others, that's the mentality that they have. They've given up on trying to change things legislatively or societally, but rather let's do it with a bomb or a pistol or whatever else.
On a side note, I was living in Atlanta at the time.
USS Cole, Al-Qaeda pulled a boat, a small motorboat up next to the ship and blew it up. 17 American sailors were killed, 39 were injured. Now, the American public, by the way, responded to this differently. There was a lot of outrage, but they were military. And the way in America we think is, yes, we honor the heroes, but that's what they are there for. Better that they blow up the heroes than that they blow up the civilians like they did here. So, as terrible as the Cole was, there wasn't a great So, after 9/11, very quickly, the U.S. realized what we're doing isn't working. Land of the free, home of the brave, believe what you want to, do what you want to. And by the way, the First Amendment's freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom from government control. The Second Amendment to the U.S. Constitution is freedom to own a gun, to keep and bear arms. So very close to the heart of Americans is no, we're going to keep our guns. And so we never give profiling, we're not going to collect guns or whatever. So what do? Now we've been attacked several times by groups that don't like us for a variety of reasons, and we've attacked ourselves internally. So the establishment of the Department of Homeland Security, heightened security at U.S. airports, where we're now doing full body scans, landmarks, public gatherings, security concerns, again, taking it back to the university, foreign students attending universities in America. There was a period of time where no new visas were granted at all. It's just nobody else comes in here. And there was a movement among some in America, just stop it altogether. Let them go to school somewhere else. We don't want any of them here. A bit of an overreaction. So what did happen was the procedures were tightened up. Now, if a student gets a visa and then doesn't show up in America, it sparks an investigation immediately. What happened? Why isn't he here or she here? And then a big deal with us is the protection of students while on campus. So lots of laws have changed and lots of campus policies have changed as well.
Just a couple weeks ago, our library was completely cleared out because someone left a bag unattended. And so they just shut the entire building down, called in whoever it was that belonged to it, I guess.
Yes.
And it took several hours for the library to review.
And then just how it affected education, greater cultural awareness, greater sensitivity, and still keeping the religious tolerance that we like to keep as a high ideal. Several other articles of the U.S. Constitution, like freedom of thought, freedom of conscience, freedom of peaceful assembly and association. So, no, America's not going to ban this group of religious students from getting together and doing whatever they want to. Freedom of opinion, and it's also not going to ban the one who says he thinks they're a bunch of superstitious folks that don't have a clue. That's freedom of religion. That's freedom of expression. But how do you balance all of that? You know, the easy thing is, well, let's just get rid of all the Muslims and let's get rid of all these guys and get rid of all those guys. And how do we balance that? That's been a great challenge for us in America. And so